The Federal is organizing the Kanyakumari Mini Marathon 2024 to commemorate Mother's Day and Nurses Day this year on May 12. This event is sponsored by Repco Home Finance.
Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Putting an end to many days of suspense, Rahul Gandhi today filed his nomination from the Raebareli Lok Sabha seat, not Amethi. And he was accompanied by Sonia Gandhi, his sister Priyanka Vadra Gandhi, and Mallikarjun Kharge. And the person who has been fielded from Amethi is Kishori Lal Sharma, who's supposed to be a close confidant of the Gandhi Nehru family. He's someone who's nurtured Amethi very well at the organizational level. So, was this a masterly piece of political deception, if I could say, which has caught everyone by surprise? What is the kind of political sense we can make out of today's nomination? Does it look like some kind of a turning point for 2024 elections from here on for the rest of the phases which are left? So, and also the fact that the BJP and the Bhakt troll armies, they've started talking about the stigma which Rahul Gandhi will have to face, after dodging the giant killer battle, which is the Battle of Amethi, where he was supposed to be pitted against Smriti Irani. So all of these things are floating as far as the narrative is concerned. But yes, Rahul has filed his nomination. And how do we see this entire battle unfolding from here on? Joining me now is Vivek Deshpande, who's a very senior journalist, political commentator. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining. We have Puneet Nicholas Yadav, senior editor with The Federal, someone who follows Congress very closely. Thank you, Puneet, so much. And let me begin with Puneet itself, because he would give us a lot of inputs as to what is happening in the party after the nomination has been filed. Puneet, how would you see this entire battle? Because everyone last evening was thinking that maybe, the names will be announced somewhere in the middle of the night, but that didn't happen. And early morning, this list came out, which had the names of Rahul Gandhi and KL Sharma. Now, was this, the first question is that, was this a deliberate strategy on the part of Congress to keep everyone guessing?
Neelu, I think it was a mix of both in a sense. There was a delay, which I think was not intentional. The delay was because Rahul, for a fact, was not convinced of fighting from two constituencies, because he's already fighting from Wayanad, which is his current sitting seat, and the elections there were over. But then there was also the extremely valid argument of whether, if Rahul does not contest from Amethi 1, he'll, or from the Hindi heartland, from Uttar Pradesh, which has been the Karmbhumi, the political Karmbhumi of the Gandhi family since independence, electorally. His great-grandfather, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, all of them have contested elections from UP. So and this is at a time when the Congress is already on a downward spiral in the Hindi belt. So how can you cede, your home turf and run away? That was the counter argument. So what I'm given to believe, it took time for people in the party. There was, of course, a groundswell of support for Rahul's candidature, demand for Rahul's candidature. The UP Congress passed a resolution to that effect. Several leaders of the UP Congress, of the AICC, and I'm told even Akhilesh Yadav personally had put in a word that Rahul must not leave UP. He must contest from UP. And Akhilesh, of course, had said that, you can contest from Amethi or from Raebareli, but contest. Don't. So I think it took time to convince Rahul, because anyone who's followed Rahul's politics and Rahul's style of functioning knows that he can be, and I think it's something that he's also said publicly, that he can be very stubborn at times when he's made up his mind about something. And so it took time to convince him. Same was the case with Priyanka, who of course remained adamant that she's not going to contest this election because she wants to focus on primarily on two things. One is the campaign, the current campaign, and second, you know, besides the actual visible campaign of the party, there's a lot of back channel, backroom, crisis management, strategy sessions, etc., which the Congress has to do. And Priyanka has been sort of, running that entire initiative on her own. Like leading that initiative in a sense. And so it was a combination of
The
these
reports
two.
which came out, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
there were reports that apparently Priyanka is reluctant and Rahul doesn't want her to contest, given the fact this whole BJP's narrative on Parivarwad and Vanshwad. So he was trying to blunt that narrative, and which is why Priyanka avoided contesting an election. How far is that true? There were reports like that.
Anil, see, I don't put much value to this whole argument that Rahul, stunted her chance of entry into politics. Rahul did not want her contest. You may argue and have a valid argument that yes, it would have, if both of them were contesting, it would have attracted the charge of Parivarvad, which in any case it attracts. It's not something that the Congress escapes just because one member of the family does not contest the election. Nobody was blaming the BJP for Parivarvad when Menaka and Varun Gandhi were both contesting. They're also Gandhis, by the way. But then of course I'm given to understand that yes, that was a factor that they considered, but saying that Rahul, intervened and said, no, Priyanka should not contest, and Priyanka wanted to cut. I don't really add a lot of value to that.
All right. Sharad Pradhan, senior journalist, political commentator, and author, also joins us, and he has immense knowledge from what is happening in Uttar Pradesh. Sharadji, thank you so much for joining. And now, what this momentum which is created with the nominations now having been filed from Amethi and Raebareli, would you call this as some kind of a turning point, not only in Uttar Pradesh, but it would have a ripple effect in the entire country, whichever constituencies are left for polls?
Well, certainly it will have ripple effect in many parts of Uttar Pradesh, where Congress needed to get some kind of an adrenaline to come back to life, because Congress was in dire straits in UP, and not much effort was made, but even by the Gandhis, to revive the party, and which was very strange after the last state election in 22, when Priyanka came down and she was camping and she did a lot of good. But the only thing was the time that she gave to UP was barely 13 days or 14 days, which is certainly not enough. 13 days may be enough to contest a seat where you have roots. For instance, Amethi and Raebareli are the seats where either of them could have taken a plunge and easily saved. And to believe that you like, this is all BJP narrative. Okay, bhag gaye, dar ke mare bhag gaye. The poor BJP walas, they don't understand that the two of them, the siblings, the manner in which they take on Modi, Amit Shah, and taking the bull by its horn. Do you think they are the types who would get scared? This can only happen, if you have that kind of psyche like the BJP walas mostly have, like never had any role in even the freedom movement. They have this fighting spirit in their blood. And another thing, times have changed. This is not 2019. Rahul has had a complete makeover in these last 5 years, and we have all seen it, particularly in the aftermath of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So there was a reason for them. There must have been some reason. I'm not commenting on whatever reason it was that Priyanka was reluctant to contest. And the Priyanka and Rahul, they get along, they work in tandem. Yes, if both of them were there, they would have got bogged down to the two constituencies. It would have been very, very difficult, and particularly in Amethi, where
Sharadji, you feel that this is a smart move by Congress
certainly.
to field Rahul from Raebareli and field KL Sharma from Amethi?
Yeah, I'll just explain to you. You know how it is a smart move. First of all, it is very rare in the past many years. I have seen this is for the first time that the Congress party has got down to involving strategists. And I think what could be a better strategy that until a day before, or even until this morning, people were not aware, and BJP was busy, shooting out all kinds of dialogues, all kinds of narratives, so that because they were dying to know what is happening. Mind you, Smriti Irani had already filed her nomination, and Smriti Irani's now biggest problem today is, and her discomfiture is that tomorrow, if Kishori Lal Sharma, I know Kishori Lal Sharma, I've seen him working from the 80s when he first came to work with Rajiv Gandhi. So the way he has connect with the people, I've seen him calling out people by their first names down the villages. So her only worry now is people were a bit disillusioned with her on account of her arrogance, on account of certain acts which directly affected the local people. You must have, if you remember, there was a hospital there which is run by a Gandhi family trust. It's called the Sanjay Gandhi Hospital. And it's a charitable hospital where all facilities were provided almost free of charge. So it was a very popular thing because there's no other hospital of that size in the region. So, and just because one patient died there who happened to be close to Smriti Irani, my God, she got the hospital license suspended overnight. People were thrown out of the hospital. So you can imagine the impact it had on the people. There were public protests in Amethi. That what the hell is this? Is there any hospital on this earth where patients don't die? So
But
all
how
these
would
the
one
arrogance or accessibility.
Right. But looking at the things from the common man's perspective, or rather from the perspective of the people in Amethi, will they consider KL Sharma as a lightweight when you compare him with Smriti Irani? Would you consider it as a
Well, well,
lightweight?
well. I would say yes. They would not rate him as an equal fight, but politics is all about springing surprises. Do you remember in 1977 when Indira Gandhi was defeated by Raj Narayan? Raj Narayan was considered a buffoon. His image was, we used to see him here he was a MLA, and my God, nobody could ever imagine that he'll defeat somebody like Indira Gandhi, and it was a huge shock for Indira Gandhi. So don't be surprised, and just imagine, and what will the BJP walas do if she loses? She's the Maharani of the party for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Sharaji, looking purely at the campaign which she has been putting in recently. We saw her donning a helmet, riding a scooter, going to the various new projects which have come up in Amethi. And then when you compare whatever has been done by KL Sharma, just to say that he's very close to the Gandhis, he's managed things at the organizational level in Amethi. Will that be enough to win the elections? So the criteria is
Certainly not.
loyalty, not winnability for Congress.
Certainly not. It is not enough. But mind you, elections are fought largely on perceptions and emotion. I have seen this Amethi there was a time when Amethi had no roads. When Sanjay Gandhi came in 1980, there were no roads in Amethi. And Sanjay Gandhi's slogan was, "You vote for me and I'll convert Amethi into London." This was his slogan. And what one saw, he was there for a very short while, hardly a year. And when Rajiv Gandhi came in, the first thing that he undertook was building roads, canals. There were no irrigation facilities in. So they have built basic infrastructure, which the villages need. People have not forgotten, and with time, anybody who comes has to carry out certain obligations which he is duty bound to do for the people of the area. So as compared, it's fine that, but people know Kishori Lal Sharma, and Kishori Lal Sharma was the one who was approached by the local people for all kinds of small and big jobs. And he is rated as somebody who would make himself very easily available, because when his master, or whatever you say, then Rahul Gandhi was easily accessible, Rajiv Gandhi was easily accessible to people. I've seen people literally holding Rajiv Gandhi's hand as Prime Minister. Can you visualize that?
Right.
So the people think that generation is gone. But even later on, it is because Rahul Gandhi came in and people have seen this. So 19 election was a different ball game for various reasons. He may have lost. Yes, I concede that if Rahul had contested, there was no reason why he wouldn't win. But then if Priyanka was not contesting, they couldn't have left Raebareli. Because, mind you, between the two constituencies, Raebareli is closer to the Gandhi family heart. Their seat has been held by them from 1952, the
Right.
first election in India. Firoz Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, then of course, Sonia Gandhi won 5 times from there. So, all these factors must have come into play before they took this final decision. And one more thing, which is important, which cannot be ignored, is the fact that if Rahul had been fielded from Amethi, he would have got bogged down there. Because you're fighting against Dinesh Pratap Singh in Raebareli is a completely different ballgame. He is a nobody in front of Rahul Gandhi. Whereas it's Smriti Irani being a central minister, there
He would
would
have
have
got
been
down. Yeah.
they made logical sense that so now he's free to spend more time campaigning in the rest of the country. And Priyanka, as I'm told, she was keen on running around the country everywhere, and so that they can divide the nation into different regions and move ahead. And I see nothing wrong in that.
Right.
It was a good strategy which has literally stumped the BJP, and no wonder this kind of reaction.
Actually,
You
yes.
remember one more, if you permit me, I'll just add
Oh,
one
yeah,
more thing. Well,
please go ahead.
you remember how this fellow, this what is called Robert Vadra, the way he made a self-announcement, unprovoked, just from out of the blue, he said that he is keen to contest and people of Amethi love him and all that nonsense. That was a part of the design. In fact, that time only I did a show on that when everybody was talking about, see now Vadra is coming, what will happen to the Congress. I said, this is a part of this is the way to create confusion in the BJP. This is what, in the earlier election, until the earlier election, Congress did not have the wherewithal to spring surprises to the BJP, which BJP was in turn doing to them. They would get caught on the wrong foot. But all
Absolutely.
this goes to show that it is a part of a good strategy that's come. And outcome of the election is something that anybody entering the fray at that level, they are ready to face.
Absolutely. So it was a perfect strategy, and I think they also, both the brothers and the sisters, and I would also talk about Congress, that they've played the press perfectly, Vivek. But the way Prime Minister today reacted, he was in West Bengal in Bardwan, and and also the kind of narrative which is built on the social media. If you look at Twitter, I mean, what is presently called X, all sorts of hashtags are running. The Daro Mat, and even Prime Minister, I won't talk about those hashtags, but Prime Minister has said in a rally, Daro Mat, Bhago Mat, and this entire narrative of how Rahul Gandhi is running away from Amethi just because he's scared. This is the kind of narrative which BJP is trying to build. Will this narrative, do you think, is really going to help BJP? The Prime
I,
Minister talking about this, Giriraj Singh talking about it, and every minister and every BJP leader is talking on those lines.
I didn't know
Yes.
that Giriraj Singh was meant to be taken seriously. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was not addressed to me. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, Vivek. Okay.
Nilu, I think the Congress or the BJP or any other opposition party, any party which is in opposition of the BJP has a perfect right to make such allegations, because the inordinate delay with which these announcements came, such kind of reactions were bound to come, and they should have been anticipated. That's why I believe, that you could not have waited till the last day. I mean, why wait till the day of last day of filing nominations? They could have announced it a day or two earlier, because these reactions have started coming yesterday, day before yesterday. So 2-3 days before you could have announced it. In any case, one of the
No,
Gandhis was going to be
but
fielded.
Vivek, one would say that the Congress was trying to be overcautious. Looking at what has happened in Indore, looking at what has happened in Surat, maybe they were trying to be overcautious.
No, but then see, in any case, one of the Gandhis was going to be fielded from one of the two seats, right? So that could have been fixed earlier. Why did you wait for both the seats to be left vacant till the last day of filing nominations? You could have. You were in any case going to field Rahul Gandhi. There was some doubt about Priyanka Gandhi because she was not keen on filing her nomination from there, because it would have created a narrative that all the Gandhis are now going to be in parliament, and that would have kind of strengthened the dynasty argument against the Congress. So one of the two Gandhis was going to be fielded anyway. So that could have been announced. Now, if there was this dispute about which of the two Gandhis is going to be fielded, then I can understand. But if Rahul Gandhi was going to be there in one of those seats, then it should have been announced earlier. So people have the natural right of making such accusations that Gandhis are running away from it, running scared away from it. I would have found Rahul Gandhi fighting from Amethi better than at Raebareli, because there is this narrative going on from the opposition that the BJP is on the decline and BJP is going to lose this election in a big way. Then why are you running away from Amethi? You could have filed your nomination from Amethi, and you had this chance of defeating, taking revenge of 2019. So that means you have given a handle to your opposition, particularly the BJP, to say that you are running scared from Amethi. Rahul Gandhi did not want to fight elections against Smriti Irani, and she is such a heavyweight now in Amethi that even Rahul is scared of fighting her. So if there is this trend, according to you, against the BJP everywhere, then you should have come out and fought the election from Amethi itself. Why not? So, people have the right to interpret the things in their own way. Politically, there is nothing wrong about it. So they will say Daro mat, bhago mat, which the Prime Minister has said. That apart, but then finally, one thing is good, that at least one of them is fighting from one of those two seats, which is very, very crucial. If they would have left both the seats vacant for some lesser known people, then it would have sent a very, very wrong message. Finally, they have come good. They have, Raebareli is at least up for grabs for the Gandhis. And I believe the other candidate, KL Sharma, could be a dark horse, might prove to be a dark horse. And he might actually go on to defeat this lady if there is some sort of an undercurrent across the country in favor of the opposition, if not in favor of the Congress particularly. So, that would also have given Rahul Gandhi a chance to win from Amethi. If there is some undercurrent, that would have given him a chance. He stayed away from Amethi, fine. He filed his nomination for Raebareli, that's good. Better late than never. They have done it finally, but on the last day of nomination, really sends a very wrong signal, according to me. I mean, I perfectly support both the Gandhis, and they are doing good job, and they are doing a job which is necessary for the democracy of India. That's fine, but to stay away from a position where you ought to have fought, and you were decidedly in favor of fighting from, you should have come earlier and filed your nomination there at least 2-3 days before, so that a positive signal would have been sent. That is something which they have failed to do, and that is something which has attracted these kind of accusations. Now they have to go ahead and fight the remaining part of the election very well. I think they will do it, and if there is any undercurrent in favor of the Congress, that will only help them. Ideally, I would feel that Rahul Gandhi should have fought an election against Narendra Modi from Varanasi.
Right. You said
why don't you say that Narendra Modi, the most powerful man on earth, why didn't he contest against Rahul Gandhi?
Yeah.
And he also
Actually, he's because I know he's
and retained Varanasi.
Because I know he's running scared. Because I know he's running scared. He is running scared. So I can't ask him.
Vivek, I want to talk about a different scenario altogether. You said that KL Sharma could be the dark horse. Who knows? And everybody knows his organizational strength. And looking at the sentiment which is on the ground, and people are talking about the way Congress is reviving. Puneet, I'll come to you now. Let me talk about the unthinkable. What if? It's just what if, because elections are very unpredictable. We do not know the result, but I'm just trying to explore that possibility. That what if KL Sharma wins? Smriti Irani loses, and what are the chances of Rahul losing Raebareli? I was just looking at the election results of the assembly elections. 4 out of 5 seats in Raebareli are with the Samajwadi Party. 1 seat is with the BJP. Now, I'm just trying to, be a little overcautious, just looking at the fact what has happened in Surat, what has happened in Indore and Khajuraho. Now, what if BJP tries to play some kind of game? They have just 1 seat, one Vidhan Sabha seat here, But what are the chances? Can they play this foul game? And somehow we do not know what's a game they can play. But what are the chances of that?
Nilu, I wouldn't want to predict what might happen, but I would be extremely shocked if Rahul fares poorly in Raebareli. I do not think that's a constituency, and in the current scenario, in UP and elsewhere in the country, that a constituency like Raebareli is going to throw up a result that Amethi throwed up in 2019. See, this whole argument over whether Rahul should have contested from Raebareli or should have contested from Amethi, it has sort of two very polarizing views, and both may sound justified and equally relevant. But let's just look at the pros and cons in a sense, and briefly. If Rahul had contested from Amethi, what purpose would it have really served for the Congress? One, of course, people would say that yes, he's shown the courage to go back and avenge his defeat, which would have been, in many of you, the right thing to do. And as Modi and the rest of the BJP Jing Bang is now, quoting what Rahul loves to say, "Daro mat." It was always predictable, expected that if Rahul did not contest from Amethi, that is the line that the BJP would take, that he's scared and he's run away. But aside from that one thing of him going to Amethi, contesting against Jani with the hope of winning and avenging his defeat of 20, what was the other purpose that it would have served politically?
May I add something there?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure, sir.
Nilu, this the Raebareli assembly segments. One was with the with BJP, and one more that is after one BJP Congress MLA switched loyalties to the BJP. That is Manoj Pandey. The other Congress MLA, Aditi Singh, who's a daughter of alleged mafia don turned politician Akhilesh Singh. Yeah. And Akhilesh Pratap Singh was his name. And she has also switched loyalties to the BJP. So they have already carried out Operation Lotus in there, whatever they could. So now still the three of the five MLAs are Samajwadi Party.
Right. All right. Yeah, Puneet, you complete your point.
So by contesting from Raebareli and not contesting from Amethi, I just mentioned what purpose it would have served if Rahul had contested from Amethi politically for the Congress. It would have blunted the BJP's tirade in that sense. Now, by contesting from Raebareli, yes, he attracts the charge of being, a deserter or being cowardly, and whatever. Perhaps it may damage the Congress. Perhaps it may not, because you'll have to then look at not just him not contesting from Amethi. You have to look at this as a whole, as his campaign. Does his campaign look like he's running a campaign that is scared of Modi or scared of BJP?
Precisely.
So that's one thing. So I think that the impact of that criticism can still be dented to some extent. I would have personally liked to see him contest from Amethi. There's no two ways about it. But then, a political party and a politician has his own strategy and his own priorities to think of. By contesting from Raebareli, they send out multiple messages. One, that they are going to contest on their terms, not on the terms being set by the BJP. Yeah. It may be right or wrong, but that's one clear message. Right. Second, it's, as Sharadji pointed out, the association of the Gandhi family with Raebareli predates that with Amethi by another 30 years.
That's right.
From 1952. The Gandhi family started contesting from Amethi only in 1980. And
That's right.
Sanjay and then Rajiv and Sonia.
But yeah,
And the other thing is, by fielding KL Sharma or Kishorilal Sharma from Amethi, now one may say that this is a more fanciful construct, but it's also one, you sending a message in a sense that you're so confident of that seat that even by not contesting personally, a person close to the family is enough to defeat Smriti. Okay? And mind you, anybody who's visited Amethi, Raebareli or followed elections there knows the hold that Kishorilal Sharma has on the grassroots of those two constituencies.
that's right.
I've seen him at work, and it's a marvel to watch him. The results I don't know want to predict, but see, I think there is, and if you see a lot of the videos coming of journalists and people who are visiting Amethi at the moment, there is a very, very clear, visible, palpable anger against Smriti for various reasons. I personally think that the more Smriti Irani goes on this whole Rahul bashing in Amethi by saying, oh, he ran away, he's run away, he's scared of me, he's scared of me, I think the more damage she does to herself.
Absolutely.
No, but she's already started saying that. But
I think she's ill-advised. I don't think she takes anybody's advice, but whatever.
I was
she's
just
still.
going to say that.
I think she's still ill-advised, even by her own self.
Yeah, Puneet was making an important point of how Raebareli has been nurtured by Congress since decades. But this is also about a moment.
Just one short point, Neelu.
Yeah.
I think it may, as you said, you posed a question to Sharadji on the message that this sends to the ordinary man.
Yes.
So the ordinary voter outside of Amethi and Raebareli may think Kishorilal Sharma is some lightweight, pata nahi kisko de diya ticket. Have no doubts, people in Amethi and Raebareli, for them, Kishorilal Sharma is not an outsider. He may belong to Punjab, but he's been in that constituency for the last 40 years. He's well recognized in that constituency by BJP supporters, Congress supporters, SP supporters alike. He's not an unknown commodity there.
Right.
Plus,
so one point,
he comes with the stamp of the Nehru Gandhi family.
Right.
So, in a sense, he may be the candidate, but everybody, I don't think anyone in Amethi is in any doubt.
So the manner in which you've described how Kishori Lal is very, very familiar with the Amethi and Raebareli, he knows the two constituencies at the back of his hand. So does it mean, and can we arrive at the conclusion that it won't be a surprise if he wins Amethi, KL Sharma?
I mean, elections are known to throw up surprises. Smriti Irani won against Rahul after all.
Absolutely. Yeah. But so I was wanting to talk about this pocket borough, from an emotional perspective also, because when Sonia Gandhi recently joined Rajya Sabha, she wrote an emotional letter to the people of Raebareli that, I have a emotional connect with this place and we will always remain with you. That is what she wrote in the letter. So today's moment was also about, apart from the politics and the optics, this was an emotional moment for Sonia Gandhi as well, where she's handing over the reins of her constituency to her. Yes. So how would you look at that angle as well? Apart from the politics and the optics, which we've discussed quite extensively, but how would you look at that perspective?
Well, you raised a very pertinent point. And, I have not looked at it from that aspect. And mind you, if Rahul Gandhi had not contested from there, or none of the Gandhi family had contested, then BJP would have used that letter to go to town saying, look here, this is the kind of connect she has. She left because she was scared, and the son and daughter are also scared. Little do they realize the way Rahul and Priyanka have taken on Narendra Modi. I am sure. I mean, that's the reason he has had to resort to all kinds of the lowest of the low narratives which he is trying to set. And BJP is known for building narratives on falsehood. So now, if they first of all, they cannot do this as far as this question is concerned. They cannot do that now. The only thing that will go against Radhi from the BJP side will be Bhagya, which the local people are not ready, will not be ready to buy. Yes, there was an initial sense of shock for the people who had assembled there since last night. I know a couple of journalists who have been camping there, and this morning they saw a lot of disillusionment. All the crowds that had collected at the Gauriganj Congress office in Amethi, they started leaving the place. But in the next 2 hours, they were all back again, because then took time to sink in, because everybody had presumed that he would be contesting from Amethi. But you'll see in the next 1 or 2 days how the tide turns, and it'll be visible. No matter how much BJP uses its and Godi media to spread the word against the Congress taking all these issues.
So, in the end, I mean, I'm just coming for the concluding comments now to you, Vivek, and then Puneet finally for the word. So, is this a full-throated return to Uttar Pradesh as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned? Because he's already contesting Wayanad, where the probability is quite high that he will win the elections from there. But his return to Uttar Pradesh, how would you describe? Is it a full-throated return which sends out a very, very terse and a powerful message for the party?
Yeah, Nilu, I think the most important message to be given was that the Gandhis are there to fight the election in the Hindi belt. I mean, that was a very important message that they needed to give, which they have given. But then, there is this.
Just another point before you complete your bit, that there was this whole thing where people started talking about that, Congress will be relegated in the south. It will become like a southern regional party. So talking from that perspective, this thing becomes more and more pronounced, I guess.
Yeah. So they wanted to be, they needed to be in the Hindi belt, which finally has happened. Rahul Gandhi is contesting from Raebareli, but why he did not contest from Amethi, is one reason that is being given out, is that if he were to fight from Amethi, he would have had to spend a lot of time in Amethi, and because it was a matter of prestige for him to wrest that seat back from Smriti Irani. So he would have had to concentrate a lot, spend a lot of time in Amethi, and thereby taking a lot of time away from him for campaigning in other parts. And there is another thing, is that even if he's fighting from Raebareli, which one of the two seats he would finally win, if at all he wins the Raebareli seat as well, apart from Wayanad. I mean, we expect him to win both the seats. So which of the two seats does he leave once he gets elected from both the seats? Does he leave Wayanad or does he leave Raebareli? So the going narrative is that he might quit Raebareli and remain with a Wayanad seat. So if this narrative is going to be there in the campaign in Raebareli, then what happens? I mean, if the people there get this sense that Rahul Gandhi is going to quit this seat, and there's not going to be any Rahul Gandhi after the elections are won, then the people may not go for Rahul Gandhi. The people may not vote for him. I mean, what if that happens? And that's a very important question that needs to be taken care of by the Congress managers. And even at Wayanad, I mean, even if he were to leave Wayanad seat, then Wayanad has already voted for him, so it's not going to change at all. So if he has won the seat from there, he has won it. But if at Raebareli people have this impression that he is going to quit this seat for Wayanad, then it might work against him. I mean, that is my perception. Sharad ji would be in a better position to tell, because he's from UP and he knows a lot of things there, and he understands the people's mindset there better than I do. But that could be one of the points that might go against Rahul. I don't know. And even in last elections, the last election in 2019, the percentage of the number of votes, the margin with which Sonia Gandhi had won in 2014 had come down by half. So if the Congress votes are going down in Raebareli since 2014, and if there is no wave in favor of Congress or against the BJP or against Modi this time, then what happens to Rahul Gandhi's prospect in Raebareli? That's a very, very important.
Absolutely. I think you're right, because Rahul Gandhi will continue to be dodged with these questions. And whenever if he gives interviews, he will be posed these questions that which is the constituency he would like to leave. And then I'm sure he'll brush aside that question for a while at least. But Puneet, what I wanted to ask you was that now looking at the moment, what has happened today, and with the full throttle retort from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Daro mat, bhago mat, without getting into that narrative, politically speaking, and clearly from a political perspective, how would you look at this moment? Is it a grand revival of Congress in terms of narratives, in terms of the return of the Gandhi family, they having substantiated the fact that, look, we have the potential to answer Modi on every front, and Modi is on the back foot. So they've been able to establish that narrative. And do we look at this as some kind of a turning point from here on for the 2024 elections?
Nilu, I don't think I would, jump the gun and say that this, fact that Rahul is contesting from Raebareli is a turning point. I don't, I wouldn't want to call. But then the fact is that why are you associating the fact that, Rahul or the Congress are able to take on Modi, are able to attack Modi with him contesting from Raebareli? Their entire campaign so far, even before the announcement of the candidates in Amethi and Raebareli, has been about countering Modi and the BJP.
That's right.
Irrespective of whether they were contesting from Raebareli or not, that was the Congress's campaign. So, I mean, yes, in terms of the optics of Rahul returning to UP, it may not be Amethi, it may still be Raebareli, but then in terms of him returning to fight an election from Raebareli, which is a Hindi heartland state where there's been a lot of criticism of the Congress that, it's abandoned the Hindi heartland, it's become a South Ka party and all that. In that sense, that limited aspect, yes, it's good optics, perhaps a little dented by the fact that he's not contesting from Amethi but from Raebareli, which is a relatively safer seat. But I just want to also quickly make a point on this whole thing of Wayanad or Raebareli, if he wins both. That's, of course, going to be a major riddle for Rahul to answer. Yeah. And he'll be asked that during this election, he'll be asked after the election if he, ends up. But then, you see, that's perhaps, where we as journalists, we tend to look for very immediate, an immediate on the spot analysis. Oh, this has happened, so that is going to happen. Today is the first day. He filed his nomination.
In sound bites, the tendency to get that.
So I mean, this whole instant coffee style of journalism, the thing is, mind you, this election, this current election, Priyanka may not be contested. If she had contested from Raebareli and Rahul had contested from Amethi and both of them had won both the seats, and Rahul had also won Wayanad, and then Rahul had to cede one seat, and say hypothetically he was ceding Wayanad, there would have naturally been an upset from the Kerala Congress and all of that and stuff, because that was a seat that stood by him when Amethi turned its back.
Well said.
Right? But if he had then chosen to leave Amethi, and you couldn't have had Priyanka contesting from Amethi in that case, right? You don't have Priyanka contesting this election at all. So there is still a possibility. It depends on what kind of narrative and, of course, what kind of strategy the party wants to make for Raebareli in the future. But what if Rahul wins from both, and then he says, because mind you, 2026 Kerala has elections, so they will have to factor that in, because the left will pounce on it, and so will the BJP if he leaves Wayanad, and that will play out very poorly for the Congress in Kerala. So, and Rahul, as I'm given to understand, he had made this very clear to the Congress president, even when his name was being, doing the rounds for Amethi and not for Raebareli, that if he contests Amethi and wins, he will retain Wayanad. I know that for a fact that this is what he had said. And so assuming that is the position that he takes in the event of winning both the seats, and then he leaves Raebareli, there is still a window for Priyanka to make an entry and for a Gandhi to remain in one of the two seats.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
I don't think it's that huge a question for them to answer unless the Congress, as is its habit, shoots itself in the foot and does a self goal by bringing in some other fellow there. But
Yeah.
logically, I think that would be a sound strategy, and it would effectively counter the current questioning.
Well, yes, Vivek, you wanted to say something very briefly. Yeah.
My journalistic and analytical mind also prompting me to pose a few more questions which I'm holding back because I don't want to give the BJP any handle. There's one very important question that is nagging me. I don't want to ask this question on public platform so that I give ideas to BJP to ask such
Let's,
questions. So
let's have a
let the
conversation
election get.
without talking about instant coffee. Vivek, we need an instant coffee
No,
session then.
There's one more important. There's one more important question about gender, which I don't want to ask here and don't give any idea to BJP and Modi to ask that question. So I'm holding it back. There are many questions in there.
Okay. Even if you don't say it, I think all of us have understood what you're trying to say.
Understood.
All right. So we'll have to wait and watch, but an interesting day with a lot of surprises. But yes, we have to watch as to how this campaign now unfolds, whether it is Narendra Modi, whether it is Smriti Irani, whether it is Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi. Lots to watch out for. Thanks for coming on the program, Charaji, Vivek, Puneet. It was wonderful having you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal. Thank you.
The Federal is organizing the Kanyakumari Mini Marathon 2024 to commemorate Mother's Day and Nurses Day this year on May 12. This event is sponsored by Repco Home Finance.
Subscribe to The Federal's YouTube page for more news.